Hello ladies and gents, Bushman here and welcome back to my channel. First, I would like to apologise for a slow week on the YouTube side of things, as my main focus this week was setting up on Twitch, and I'll be streaming at least 3 times a week. But to make up for it, we have a video jam-packed with useful information, which will include a full raid guide for the Dinghy, which of course resulted in a brand new base build aimed at fast deployment. What I'm going to show you today is what I use on a daily basis and what I have on me at all times when wandering around the map, and it should be everything you need to play the game as a solo efficiently. My main priority is keeping things cheap and easy so it doesn't cost a large amount of time to get the required materials, and as you get better at PvP in the game, your gear storage will fill up without having to farm as a result. This setup is perfect for general farming, fragment farming, PvP and raiding, and the items on board are essential for all these aspects of the game. Just briefly then, let's have a quick talk about the recent update. For those of you who didn't watch my stream, the Mollusk Walker is still broken. The saw blade can still be glitched into the walker, destroying crafting stations and boxes. The armoured legs for the mollusk are also a waste of time and resources, as they offer no further protection from the standard legs, and there is still no speed bonus from upgrading the walker. I mean, look, no difference, same health, and it goes down exactly the same speed, so there is absolutely no point in using armoured legs on this walker. Like, OP as fuck. What a waste of ceramics putting armoured legs on it, you know? Absolute waste. They did say in the patch notes they had fixed the saw blade issue, but as demonstrated there, it can still be done, which is why for the time being, it still parks safely in the lobby. Moving on to the iron maps then, and as predicted, it's a Zergfest. For solo and small groups, I would strongly recommend heading to the event maps in the second hour for the respawns, as we've had a lot more success finding iron when the main fighting is over and done with. You can of course wait for a crash site with a clan cap limit, which may give you a fighting chance, but they are very few and far between and may mean travelling further afield. But as more tiles are burning up, I have noticed a lot more tiles having clan caps. Finally then, just a little bit of a rant here. Here are the 5 balance changes I would like to see going forward. I've tried to reach out to the devs to put these points across, but to no avail. No grudges held, of course, as I'm sure they're extremely busy. Number 1, when a base is unpacking, players should not be able to enter the vicinity. Number 2, when a base is unpacking, it should not be transparent, allowing enemy players to see the layout of the base. Number 3, the tool saw should take severe durability damage when used against anything other than trees. Number 4, beds need to be fixed to stop you spawning on the roof. There is a workaround for this by building 2 extra walls high, but it's counterproductive. And finally then, number 5, when a player is killed in your base, the loot should not spawn on the roof. Again, there is a workaround for this by making 2 stories higher, but as I said, it is counterproductive when you have a limit of panels you can use on different walkers. These issues are detrimental for solo players and small groups in my opinion, and are quite game breaking. It's hard enough being outnumbered, so these changes will improve the experience massively. I know the game is early access, and this is by no means me shitting on the game, and I still applaud the devs for what they've accomplished so far, but as we are testing the game, these issues need to be brought to light, and I don't see any of them in the known issues on their website, which I'm very surprised by. That being said, here are some very positive points then, ladies and gents, which they have nerfed the gas bombs, the green gas damage has been slightly reduced, and the sulfur death bomb has been significantly reduced, which is a step in the right direction. However, I would love to see a potion added to the game that negates all gas damage, as being stuck in a base with gas bombs raining down on you defies the reason to even have beds in your base. All that being said, ladies and gents, let's not beat about the bush and jump straight into it. So then let's take a look at my dinghy. First point to note is that it's not a quality dinghy, and the reason being is that this should be a disposable walker. I speak from experience here. If you get caught out and raided by a Zerg, if they see it's a quality dinghy, they will more than likely completely destroy it, which in turn destroys all of your modules on board and it cannot be repaired or salvaged. So although the extra module slots that the quality dinghy offers is very powerful, it's not worth risking losing them all as a solo player, as a small group, as it takes a long time to replace them. So let's have a look what I have on board. We have 2 large chests for storage, some ammo boxes, holding harpoons for frag farming or stopping a spider or a dinghy, 2 stomping stations for water production, a woodworking station, campfire, and finally a basic fibre working station. Around the sides we have some walker climbers. Now let's have a look what we've got on the inside. First, you will notice I have all the tier 3 upgrades apart from mobility, as this requires the reinforced planks, which in turn requires iron. We have ×6 weightless modules to reduce the weight of the pack base on board. Now then, in the gear storage, this is what I carry for respawns. We have 8 sets of weapons and armour, and I've went with the cloaked Rupu sets as they're extremely cheap to make. Same goes with the one-handed bone spike sword, as this weapon is one of the most powerful due to its range. We also have 4 sawtooth swords for the two-handed option, but you can mix this about to what you prefer. Finally then, we have 22 fire arrows. I would recommend carrying at least 20 as a minimum, as this will give you the option to unlock most walkers, and you'll have a little bit left over to raid any bases that are on board. Unless of course they use one of my bases, in which you're kinda screwed. In the cargo store then, we have 100 sterile bandages, spare water bottles, wingsuits if you've got them unlocked, repair hammers, a backpack, some gathering tools, and durable water sacks. The durable water sacks are only to be used when refilling your walker's water storage, and the reason all these items are on the right hand side is so you don't spawn in with any of them accidentally and lose them. Your water storage and torque should always be full when leaving for an adventure. Now then, let's have a look at the new base build on board. This base unpacks in 1 minute 18 seconds and as usual offers huge protection to your items, which by now you shouldn't expect any less from me. From the outside then, you will see an all-round defence from some Rupu slingers protecting your entrances to the base, which should always be filled with ammunition. We have triangle honeycombing at both ends with 2 entrances in and out the base. On one side it would appear there is no protection to the walls, and on the other side you will see heavy protection with the slanted roof panels. What side would you go into, ladies and gents? The right side? Well, then you're wrong, as going into the base now you will see that there is 4 panels protecting the loot rather than the 3 panels on the opposite side. This is a classic bait enticing the enemy to go through the easier option. So the loot room is quite complex and has 2 large chests on top, which can be accessed from underneath, and we have another 2 large boxes on the floor here. We have crafting stations meshed into the honeycombing, which also adds protection to your stations. I managed to squeeze in a stomping station, advanced fibre working stations, and a woodworking station, but with a bit of playing around you can fit in a lot more. Onto the roof then, which is protected by a further 2 panels of slanted roof, and you can see the fibre working station sticking out there. But don't worry, as it can't be damaged. Instead of the fires there, you can put another chest and stack another one on top. A point to note is when you're crouched underneath your loot room, you cannot attack or be attacked, so it's actually a really safe area to be in when the enemy has breached the base. You can also move loot around and there's not much they can do about it unless they're using gas bombs. I'm unsure how much damage the gas bombs do now and whether it's possible to heal through it if they're being used while you're in your base, but we'll have to wait and see on that one. So that's the base, ladies and gents, and I've been a bit hesitant on putting this base out there as the meshing of the crafting stations may be considered an exploit, and maybe even the method of stacking the roof panels as I've done inside the base here. I want the longevity of my base builds to last for years to come, but I thought I would share this design as it's really strong but very compact at the same time. It has already been raided by a Zerg and they actually gave up raiding it, so that is actually the reason I decided to share it. If it gets patched out, then I will make a redesign using the same logic. The general idea of making this rustic style bunker base came from a keen builder in my Discord called Kiblums. I had a look at his design and decided to try it out myself, making it even stronger, and this was the result. So ladies and gents, let's get it crafted. The base comes in at a grand total of 58 panels, to which you will need 2030 wood, 464 bone splinter and 232 wood shafts. You don't need to add your boxes beforehand using the shelving method in this design, so you can add loot boxes at your leisure along with anything else in the base. First, you need to craft a 4x2 footprint like so. Make sure it is raised off the ground. Now we need to apply the shelving method, so add another foundation and wall like this. Select the roof panel and scroll your middle mouse 4 clicks, which should line up with the 4th wood slat on the wall like so. After placing, we now need to add a shelf, so select the roof panel again and scroll 4 clicks up like this. Now destroy the wall, roof and foundation. We will now add our wall protection. Some messing about will be required here, as you may have to pack and unpack the base if it says angle too steep. We have now added our wall protection, so we no longer need to apply the first method and we can just join the protection on every wall. Add another shelf and apply another 2 slanted roof panels like so. Now finish off with the entire side with the slanted roof panels. Add 2 more roof panels for our shelf and apply your boxes if you have them handy. If not, it's okay, as you can still place the boxes after the entire base has been built. Now let's add a door and a wall panel to both ends of the base. We will now seal in our loot boxes, separating the rooms, and add a further slanted roof panel where we will squeeze in our crafting stations. Now wall off the last side of the base, adding more slanted roof panels in between for further protection to your loot boxes. We are now going to roof off the entire building, then add a further 2 panels with a slant to add another layer. And we will add our Rupu nest, placing 2 walls at both ends. Finally, we will add our triangle honeycomb protecting the wall, which there are 2 methods. If your base allows you to place a foundation that is vertical, all you need to do is angle the wall in like so, both sides. If your base won't allow you to place a vertical shaped foundation and it only allows you to place it horizontally, you'll need to place a roof panel instead of the foundation and take off snapping, allowing you to angle the walls manually. Finish off with a roof panel, sealing the gap like so on both ends, and that's the base built, ladies and gents. I will now show you how I place the crafting stations in the base. You can have a good play about with this to fit it to your liking, as there is plenty of space. And that's it, ladies and gents, a comprehensive guide to a raid dinghy and a base build to go along with it. I hope this video was useful and you took away some good information, and if you were already clued up, I hope you learned about some base building techniques instead. If you enjoyed the video, please smash the thumbs up button, and if you're new here, please hit that subscribe button and click the bell icon and never miss a video. Thank you very much for watching, ladies and gents, and I'll see you on the next one.